The Lord offers us a path to certainty. Although there's a lot of uncertainty in the world today, for people, for the average person, I'm not talking about for those who have amassed what they have, whatever means that they took for them to get there. I'm talking about for those which uncertainty is a way of life, for those who can call it a struggle that keeps them on the brink of existence, whether or not they continue to live. Those who are on the underside of what is considered to be the abundance that is in this country. Because although there is abundance in this country, there are many who are not experiencing that abundance for various reasons. But one of the main things that we must understand is that if you look at it from man's perspective, you get what you got. The Lord's perspective is a different perspective. The Lord's perspective always has been and continues to be is that he's offering us a path to certainty. Because what people are experiencing every day, in many more, some more than others, is a lot of uncertainty. Uncertainty about where the next meal is going to come from. Uncertainty about whether or not they're going to have clothes on their back. Uncertainty about how they're going to pay their bills. Uncertainty about the sickness that they may have in their bodies and what they're going to be able to do with it. Uncertainty about whether or not they can go to someone and that can help them with getting that sickness addressed. Uncertainty is what people are experiencing. The Lord offers us a path of certainty, if we would choose to take it, to ensure our personal results that we want, to ensure our results are abundant and consistently good, to ensure our results are abundant and consistently improved. In other words, we don't just experience good one time. We experience good consistently. We don't just experience an improvement, the desired improvement that we seek one time, but we consistently experience that improvement. We don't experience that desired increase one time, but we consistently experience the what? The improvement. That's what the Lord desires. But we consistently experience positive results. But in order for us to do that, we can't do that and be obedient to all of the things that the world is offering. When we walk into this world, when we are born into this world, we are taught by those who are around us in the best way that they can. And one of the things that they immediately teach us is how to be obedient to the environment, into the portion of the world that we live in. And I often speak of what happened to our people in the period of slavery in this country, because it's one, we can't forget. Two, it's such a good period to learn about ethics and values and beliefs. I'm reminded, even when I was little, with my mom, as we walked down the street, I'm reminded that there were certain things, there were certain ways that we would go. I didn't know why, but there were certain things that we did that I now look back in retrospect, I understand that there was some eyes peering at us and that she was leading us in a way that would allow us to have safe passage, that she could see the risk and danger that I could not see. Why? Because of the ethics, the values, and beliefs of those that were around us, that the area we were living in. I was not familiar with those things, being a child being introduced to the world, but she helped me become acclimated in a way that allowed me to be able to survive to this day. What I'm trying to get you to see is that the Lord provides us a path of certainty that gives us even a higher level of personal success. Because I'm sure if a child did something wrong, to operate outside of laws or rules that were in place during that time, somebody was going to exact a penalty on that child, especially in a racist area, especially in an area where people don't share your ethics and values, especially in an area where people may look down upon you, especially in an area where people had a reputation for hate. So my mother, in my innocence, directed me in ways that caused me not to have to contend with the level of hate that I could have. I'm just trying to get you to see how important it is to be able to have someone that puts you on the path of certainty and for you to maintain that path of certainty. Why? Because the world that we live in is shaped by the ethics and the values and beliefs of people, whether they believe in the Lord or not. But everything that they do every day is to perpetuate their ethics, their values, and their beliefs. Some people didn't want to see people who were of color living in the same neighborhood of people who were Anglo-Saxon and white. Why? It's values and ethics and beliefs that drove rules to be put into place to try to discourage that from happening, to prevent that from happening. So the world we live in is a world when we are born into whatever state it is, and our goal in that world is to try to live as productively as we possibly can. And being born in the wrong place, in the wrong state, can mean a very difficult road to hoe. And what we must understand, it is not the Lord's desire that anybody, whether it's a baby being born in this world, or whether it's an adult that's been living in this world for some time, it's not his desire that his people would be totally aligned, totally in lockstep with every tradition, every regulation, every law, every tradition or practice of a given area. That's not the Lord's desire, because it wasn't set up to glorify the Lord. That's the main reason. It was set up for another purpose other than glorifying the Lord. So if we and the Lord was okay with us being aligned with everything that mankind creates as a law and a statute, that means the results for every person should be good, consistently good, and it should allow them to achieve what their goals and their aspirations are. And that is just not the case with any place in this world. And because that is the case, that means that we need someone to give us advice. We need someone to lead and guide us in a way that allows us not to run into the difficulties that are out there for people that's been set up for people to experience. There have been things put in place for people to deliberately fail if they comply to everything that's been put forth in this world. And I'm just going to give you one example. Have you ever gotten any mail where an offer has been made in the mail, and you know that offer is too good to be true? Or you know that there's a catch to it? Or as you read it, you find out that there is a catch to it? Have you ever experienced that before?
Yes.
What you are discerning, what you are realizing is that there in the world, if someone has been able to make an offer to you and extend an offer to you that on the surface may appear to be good, but in actuality, unless you have your eyes wide open, unless you have the insight, unless you have the ability to see through your ethics and your values and your beliefs, to discern the truth, that trick could end up taking advantage of you and causing life to be harder for you. Because it wasn't intended to help you to begin with. It was intended to do what? To take advantage of you. That's why many unfortunately have experienced this on the internet. But it wasn't just the internet. It was by way of U.S. mail as well. It happens in people's communities. It happens even when people are talking to some people. Some people you talk to on the street may try to trick you, may try to take advantage of you. They think that they can take advantage of you. What I'm trying to get you to see is that this happens as a result of the way the world has said it's okay for people to operate. The notion of dog-eat-dog world. You may have heard that expression. Well, that notion comes down to the fact that people are trying to survive and they're doing whatever they can for them to do what? to survive, including hurting other people. Why? Because it's about them versus somebody else. And what the Lord is trying to get us to see, if we try to live in that way, what we're trying to live through the ethics and the values and the belief of other people, the laws that other people have created for various purposes, selfish purposes, we cannot win. It's not designed for us to win. What is designed for us to win, if we learn to follow God's path. Why? Because everything that people are playing around and fighting over and pretending to have, it doesn't belong to them anyway. It belongs to the Lord. It was here before they got here, and it will be here after they leave. The Bible tells us the earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. In Psalms 24. Clearly, it helps us understand that it belongs to the Lord. And if it belongs to the Lord, then the same Lord is offering us a path to certainty, to ensure our personal results are abundant and consistently good, that you achieve good, not every now and then, every day, that you achieve your improvements, your desired improvements that you want, not every now and then, but every day, that you increase in a very positive way, not every now and then, sometimes or occasionally, but consistently every day, that you rise, that you are achieving positive results every day. That's the Lord that we serve. That's the abundance that the Lord is offering to us if we would choose to follow his way. And one of the first things that he's asking us to do he's advising us, he's giving us this advice, is to separate ourselves from the world.
Oh, praise be to God, from whom all blessings flow. It is our prayer at Clay Family Ministries that your life has been increased with the increase of God through this study. We appreciate and are thankful for your fellowship during this life skills study segment.